Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. This week we are on week 3 of our clean and declutter a home challenge, and we are working on our gathering spaces. Apparently this means gathering. On day 1 of our challenge, we are going to be tackling our living rooms. I don't know about the rest of you, but in my home, my living room comes second only to my kitchen. As such, I want to treat that prime living room space with some respect, since we do a lot of living in it. So I'm going to go through my space and make sure the items that are actually in it are only items that should belong there. So if something needs to go somewhere else, I'm going to put it away. I operate under the 30-second rule. If it takes me 30 seconds to put an item away, I'm going to go ahead and do it. If it would take me a little bit longer, then I just set it aside, maybe in a basket or a bin to be put somewhere else. But before I move on from that day, I make sure to handle the basket or the bin. Moving on from that, I also want to make sure that my space is streamlined. I don't want to be weighed down by clutter and excess stuff, so even the amount of things that have to stay or items that should stay in this space will be pared down. I like the 80-20 rule, which means that I'm using 80% of my available space and leaving 20% open. I enjoy that because it allows for a cleaner line of sight. My eye isn't detracted by so much going on, so I'm going to make sure I go through and purge my space of extra decor or knickknacks, or as I affectionately call them, dust catchers. I'm also aiming on this day to make sure that I clear surfaces completely. So if I have tables or a coffee table or a TV stand, me personally, my preference is to get rid of everything that doesn't need to be there, even extra decor if I can help it. Day number 2 is the dining room. Now, some of us may be fortunate enough to have a specific designated dining room space, and some of us may have an eat-in kitchen combo. Whatever the case may be, let's tackle that space. If you have the first, then make sure to really go through and look at every piece that's in this space. Do you need all the furniture? Do you need the hutch? Do you need the buffet? If the answer is no, then go ahead and sell it. Get rid of it, just to give you a more open feel and an open space in that area. If you decide that you need to keep those particular items, then make sure to go through them. Are you keeping extra china that you really aren't ever using, even on Christmas and special occasions? Then get rid of it. See if you can find a family member who might benefit from it, if it's a family heirloom piece, or maybe put it into safe storage if it's something you really need to keep or feel you need to keep for your own children or family members later down the line. If it's not any of the above and it's something you feel confident you can donate or get rid of, do so. That applies also to glassware, stemware, serveware, you name it. It's gotta go if it's not serving a purpose in this space. In regards to keeping seasonal items, like specific serveware, a good rule of thumb is if you haven't used it in the past couple of years, the past couple of seasons, you're probably not going to use it, so you're safe to get rid of it. Can we just talk about the fact that this has been in here for like 2 Christmases now, and that those have obviously gotten a lot of use, still brand new in their bag. Get your life together, Irma. Get your life together. Day number 3, we tackle the toy room or playroom, whatever kind of room you have. Now, this may be a particularly difficult task if you have children that are very attached to every single toy, even the ones that are broken and missing pieces. So if that's the case and your children are young enough, then maybe go ahead and do this when they aren't around. Maybe send them off to grandma or grandpa's or a friend's house if you can, or do it while they're in school. That's my preferred method of clearing things. Again, if your children are older, let them have a say and let them be involved. A, it, teaches responsibility, and B, it teaches a respect that you have for their items. So I would strongly suggest starting with broken toys or toys that have been outgrown, making separate piles and separate categories to either pitch, donate, or keep. The goal here is to clear as many surfaces as possible in a toy room. Children can become very overwhelmed with choices, so the simpler, the better. Less really is more in this case. And while toys may be an easier thing to tackle, I know that personally and with some of my friends, our issue is getting rid of children's books, because There has yet to be a children's book that I read that I just don't love. And I mean, who doesn't want to encourage reading, right? Even with books, your children can have too many. I know at one point my children have had well over 400 children's book, and let's be realistic, we're not starting a public library here, so it was time to pare down and cut down on books. You may want to stick with some really good classic and good quality children's books, plus a few extra. That's totally fine. But again, if your children are reaching for the same books over and over again, maybe starting a rotation system where you pull a few books, put them in storage, and swap them out every so often might work better for you if you're not quite ready to pull the trigger and get rid of those beloved children's books right off the bat. And this is why we need to declutter, because how many toys can two little boys possibly have? A lot. The answer is a lot. Day number 4 tackles a space that I personally don't have in this house, but I have lived in a house with this space and it definitely needs to be tackled, and that is mudrooms. Just like other spaces within your house, you really need to make sure that things that are living in that area are only the things that belong there. There's nothing more cumbersome than trying to leave your house and tripping over shoes and bags and just things that don't belong. So attack the space knowing what you need to use it for. If it's supposed to help you facilitate getting everybody to the house effectively, then you need to help it be as streamlined and as efficient as possible. Put things away that don't belong. Get rid of things that don't go there. Make sure that the shoes that are housed there are shoes that still fit. Are you using every bag that's in there? Are there reusable bags scattered all over the place? Do we need to pare some of them down? These are just some questions to ask yourself as you go through this space. I promise that when you have a streamlined space that you're not tripping over, it'll be one less headache when you're headed out the door, especially if they're little feet following after you. And day number 5 tackles whatever space you want to tackle. Here in the desert Southwest, we don't have basements, but we do have sunrooms. So if you have either of those spaces and you feel they need a little bit of extra love, let's be serious, they probably do, go ahead and give yourself permission to tackle one of these spaces. If you're in your basement, make sure that it hasn't become your house's catch-all. If you're looking at piles of stuff in front of you, it's because you're delaying making decisions. This is a great time to make some. So go through your spaces and make sure that you're only keeping things that need your family. Same thing in sunrooms. It's a beautiful room to sit down and relax in. Are you maximizing your space, or is it once again just becoming a cluttered corner of your house? Let's make those decisions. Let's take back those spaces so that they serve your family at their full potential. And that's it for this week's spaces. Just like before, if you're not already, make sure to head over to Instagram and follow me there so you can see my own personal journey and what my spaces look like before and after. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.